Okay, wanted to. It's been a while since I've done any kind of live stream or anything like that. Where's that shooting coming from? Okay, hope everybody can hear me okay. Alright, I'm just gonna be playing this game for a little while, and as you've probably seen by the title, I'm going to be talking about what games generally mean to me. You can also go to the comments and ask me whatever questions about gaming you want. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone. Yeah, gaming to me. Okay, first off, let me tell you this. Some of the questions that I have in my head, I'm gonna answer them for you. But people often think of games like the older folk, the older generation. They often think games are bad for you. You know, one of the most popular things out there is that, you know, games have a lot of violence in them, which they do, and the number one thing that people say sometimes is that games lead to real-world violence. Now, me personally, I don't necessarily think that's true. Because, I mean, TV shows and what you see on TV is no better than what's in games. I mean, there's shows out there now, like, take The Walking Dead, for instance. Back in Season 7, when they showed Glenn and Abraham getting killed. That was pretty horrific. And, you know, that's no better than what you see in games. You know, so, but still, even that, I don't think that games or TV are a leading cause of violence. I think that, saying that, is more on the lines of the parents and how you were raised. And if you see something, sorry, hold on, I'll get myself. If you see on TV, like, snoop around, like I know my parents did with me growing up, they like looked at some of the games I played and some of the shows I watched growing up, and they would ask me. They were like, "What you playing? You know, what do you like? What do you like about this game?" And you know, they raised me right. And that comes back to the thing about real world violence. You know, it just, you raise your kid right, and they won't go out and do the things they see in games or movies or TV shows, you know what I mean? I think that's why most people, sure, there might be something psychological going on with them. Sorry. But just talk to your kid. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to create a problem because of games. It has nothing to do with that, in my opinion. And I honestly don't think it's an opinion. I think it's a fact, you know? Just, it's just how it is. But, anyway, that's my whole little rant on that. There's also, um, a there's also another question I wanted to bring up. Some of the games I've played, like let's take let's see, one of my favorite games of all time is probably, honestly, still to this day, it's gotta be Minecraft. I don't hardly play it anymore, but of its time, you know, I played with friends. You know, Minecraft was one of those games that I just got lost in. And you've all seen some of my creations. Of course, now I kind of stopped playing that game because if I play it again, I'll just forget about everything else. But, no, Minecraft was such a, and still is a really, really great game. I play it now and again, but, that's what I like personally about games. The ability for you to go out in the world and do what you want. Now, while while single-player games that just has a linear storyline to it, like I'll say, let's see. I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of a game that I played that, like Outlast. Like, that's a scary game. Like, just the games that you can't do anything but besides to progress in the story. Those games are fine. You know, just as long as it makes sense. I'll take these guys out like this. Yeah, those games are fine as long as it's done right, and it's, you know, well made. Oh, hi there. You're popping through the wall. Not anymore. Like, we'll take The Last of Us, for example. That's still, to this day, on, one of my top 10 games of all time. Which brings me to another point. These games nowadays, you get lost in the world. You get attached to characters. And The Last of Us is, plain and simple, one of those games that had me attached. You know, you spend countless hours, hundreds of hours, interacting with that particular world, and you get attached to the characters, and then if, you know, someone dies or you think's gonna die, it's emotional. You know, yes, it may not be real life, but it's sort of the next best thing for me. some of the games, they don't. I know this may sound like I'm a little wuss or whatever, but I don't care. Some of the games that made me break down, cry, and you know, sit back after I'm done with it and be like, wow, this is a really, really good game. Okay. We'll start off with PS4 games. PS3 games. At the time, it was PS3 for me, but The Last of Us, which I have mentioned, which, by the way, I will be, hopefully by then, when that comes out, I will have my recording set up again. That way I can stream normally and all that fun stuff, but The Last of Us 2 comes out. I'm going to be playing that. But, yeah. The Last of Us is one of those games that made me tear up. Still on my top 10 list of all time. And I'll narrow down the top 10 for you guys, but and it all has to do with my top 10 is from my childhood to now. So there's a few games from my childhood that me and my brother played all the time. And in the top right corner, you'll see Ratchet and Clank. And that would be one of them. But enough on that. Fuck. Come on. Oh my god. Okay. Ooh, a laser rifle. It's only 21 damage. Let's I'll take it. Over encumbered though. So yeah, The Last of Us was definitely one of them that made me cry. No, like I said, don't be calling me baby for this, but there's also something very personal and dear to me that was made by Telltale Games, and Telltale is not a thing anymore, unfortunately. Really, really great company. The Walking Dead by Telltale. That game, literally, you get so involved into the story. 5 episodes, but it feels like, like the regular Walking Dead TV series. After a season ends, you gotta wait, 5, 6 months on end. Yes, Minecraft Story Mode is also one of those on that list that made me cry, and I'll tell you that in a second. But, yeah, no, The Walking Dead season, let's see, season 1 with Lee, the introduction to the whole thing. When Lee died, that was very emotional. And I gotta say, right there, that's probably one of the first games that made me realize at that moment, like, hey, these games, they're... I'm starting to realize that these games are, you know, they mesmerize you. You get lost in the world. You get attached. Um, yeah, onto Minecraft story mode. That's another one. It's made by Telltale. Okay, now you're gonna think I'm crazy, but when we lost Reuben, the pig, that was almost as bad as Lee dying. That was fucking terrible. When that pig died, I lost it. Just thinking about it, man. No, I'm sure there's others that made me tear up. Oh, let's see. One of the newest one that made me tear up. Red Dead Redemption 2. The ending to that story, or how about this? Let me say this. The first Red Dead Redemption is actually the kind of the second one. Um, but when John Marston died at the end, it's heartbreaking. It wasn't as bad. I don't know why. When Arthur Morgan died, I was really sad about it, but I didn't go full-blown tears. I almost did. But, no, what made me even more sad was, when Arthur gave him his hat. That right there, I was like, oh my god, that's the hat. Okay, instead of walking around and talking, let's actually go and do something. There's some sort of a barn over here. Go ahead and check that out. But yeah, no. After Arthur dies in Red Dead Redemption 2, it then leads into John Marston's whole story of how it first started. And that leads into the first game that came out in 2010. And it all fits. After the end credits, those two marshals, those sheriffs there, finally found him after asking around, and then that's how that whole story started. Really, 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 really great game, by the way. But, Hornwright Summer Villa. This looks like Hilltop. Who the okay. Interesting. They're up there. How the hell do I get up there? Ooh. I can't take that. Yeah, I know these games nowadays, they're getting more advanced, and the actors and the animations, they're getting so much better. It's almost practically real now, to where you actually feel for these characters, and it's just, I can't, I don't know what to say. Gaming is my life. home. Unencumbered. Okay. Yeah, let's move on to my next point of... What the hell was that sound? Let's move on to my top 10 games. Oh.
Gangs are on the move. We must know. The order cannot...
Into the mystery.
Riverside
So
Manor.
I don't think I'm going to do this in any particular order. But let's just start with it. Oh, one more thing about the whole what games made me sad kind of thing. I know there's more that I'm not remembering right now, but another one is from the PlayStation as well. Heavy Rain. It's kind of, it's kind of similar to Beyond Two Souls, and sort of like The Walking Dead by Telltale, in where the choices you make matter and you get to make choices and all that stuff. So, yeah, great game, great game. And one little quick thing before I move on to my top 10 is I have 3 favorite game developers right now. Mojang is not on the list, but it's definitely in my top 5. Okay, well, we'll just do my top 5, but they are in order. Starting at number 1, which is my favorite. I'll start off at number 3. We'll do my top 3. I'll start at number 3. Naughty Dog. They make Uncharted. Great series, by the way. You know, they made The Last of Us. So, great game company. Number 2. Have to be Rockstar Games. Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, Midnight Club, Table Tennis, Bully. The list goes on and on. Great company. My number 1 spot, Bethesda Game Studios. One of the first games that I played when the first generation of new consoles came out. You know, this was 2 years after the Xbox 360. Or no, it was the next year that when the Xbox 360 came out, I got my hands on one. One of the first games I played on that thing was The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I had never seen an open world game prior to that. It was so intense. I don't even have the words for it. Like my first open world, a game where you can do anything you want, explore, quests, the leveling up system, all that. And for its time, you know, in that time, graphics were good. Obviously, nothing to compare to what it is now, obviously. But for its time, it was still, I'd go back and play it right now. I must have sunken over 1,000 hours into that game. That's all I played for a long time. And then I went on to Fallout 3. Because it was made by the same company, you know? And then later on when New Vegas came out, yes, it wasn't made by Bethesda per se. They had a hand in it, but it was made by Obsidian Entertainment. You know, same thing, but different. And then when Bethesda Game Studios is my #1 because 11, November 11th, 2011, me and one of my friends, the fuck was that? Oh. We went to GameStop for the midnight release of The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. And let me tell you, when I got home, I'm not even shitting you, I stayed up for 17 hours. So, actually it was more than 24 hours that I'd been up. I, you know, woke up obviously like 9, 10 in the morning or whatever the night before. Or earlier that day before the midnight release. And then I stayed up until I got home from midnight release. All the way until like 5 or 6 at night. And then I crashed for a while. But in that time frame, I beat the storyline. I was only like, I'm not even kidding, only like level 11. And I kept getting frustrated. And I can say at the time, I didn't know why. I should have known that it was obviously because of my level. But yeah. After that, the amount of side quests, things you can do, that was another 1,000-hour plus game. And hell, the way you could create your character, and then I would even play the story again, increase the difficulty. I would do some role playing on the side. No, it just, Bethesda gets it right every time. And then after The Elder Scrolls V, oh boy, their whole Dishonored and Doom thing came about. And they did their first ever convention. Or their, you know, whatever you fucking call them. No. Probably her. I have to get a hold of her. Yeah. I'm just myself. But yeah, back on the subject of Bethesda. When they did their first convention thing, when they announced Fallout 4, the graphics, everything about it, and the main toward the end was that the character speaks. I was blown away by that. And also at their convention, or I should say their second convention. But during the first, when they announced Fallout 4, they had said that they had been developing and thinking of ideas since Skyrim. And that's crazy. But then their second convention came along. And they announced so much more for Fallout. You know, they announced the Fallout shelter for your phone. That's also great. And then Fallout 76 was announced, which obviously I'm playing right now. This game is great. It's everything a Fallout should be. And the only thing I'm gonna say about it is I wish I had friends to play with. This would make this so much better. There's no NPCs, which is fine. Which, you know, if this was realistic and, you know, the world had actually ended, you know, you wouldn't really find really anybody around. You know, so I get it. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. So, you know, I do get it. You know, it's supposed to be harder than it should be because it's, you know, post-apocalyptic and it's supposed to be challenging. But, you know, the thing is, it's lonely. That's the only gripe I have about this game. But it makes sense. People don't like it because there's no NPCs. And there's, you know, it's not, it's lonely, like I said, but also like this, some of the things do need to be fixed, but that's fine. I don't have any complaints. yeah, that's a little bit about Bethesda. Yeah, I love them to death. They never stirred me wrong. How's my hunger and stuff doing? Let's do soup and do the snack cakes. How is my stuff doing? I need to repair my hunting rifle. Ooh, my fire axe definitely needs to be repaired. And the whole building aspect of Fallout. I hope they do something like that in the Elder Scrolls 6. No, which they did announce that last year. Or I think earlier this year, I can't remember. But yeah, that was insane. It was like, 20 or so seconds, but it was announced. They're working on it right now. Which is amazing. That's their next game. Hopefully it'll come out next year. Oh, another game. Okay, let's talk about games I'm looking forward to and looking forward to playing. So, god damn it, every time I get into it. So many really backfires. Alright, let's just go. Yeah, let's talk about games I'm looking forward to playing. So, Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light did come out a little while ago. Not a little while ago, but it came out a while ago. And I played both of them. Really, really great games. Great storyline. Now the new one that's coming out in the beginning of next year. Fantastic. Fantastic game. Serious, I should say. And it's also going to be open world as well, from the looks of it. A lot of these games nowadays are heading into that direction. What am I missing? Why can't I... What? Why can't I attach the mod? Oh, I need ring 4. Gotcha. But I am going to... I need to repair this stuff. Can I? There we go. Okay. No, I'm okay. Let's repair the revolver. Shotgun. Okay. Oh, there's a game I forgot on the games that made me cry list. Also, this game is on. Okay, let's dive right into my top 10 games of all time now. Okay, like I said, this is in no particular order. Okay. Grand Theft Auto, Vice City. That game, really fun, and for its time, yes, I know the graphics are extremely bad, but for its time, it was open world. Like I said, you can do anything you want, kind of. Free roam. And, story was good, it was funny. And the reason why that's on my top 10 is because me and my brother would take turns each mission. And, you know, play it all the time. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. That's another one on my top 10. Two of them made the list because, like I said, me and my brother played the hell out of those games. Ratchet and Clank. We played that game so much. And even now, they remade it, which I still need to. So there's 3 of them right now. The Hitman series. And I'm talking about the original ones. Hitman Blood Money, which was the first one. Hitman Silent Assassin, which was the second one. And Hitman Contracts, which was the third one in the trilogy. Those 3 fucking games right there. Let me tell you. Really, really fun, and also this 4th game of series on my list. Me and my brother played so goddamn much. Learn the history of Riverside Manor. Okay, let's go do that then. 5 caps? No problem. 5 on the list. It's probably gonna have to go to Minecraft. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent into that game. And still sink hours into it. How can you not? I guarantee I probably have, like, at least 5,000 hours. I don't even know where to begin. Like, I would spend days and days just building one thing. These guys are nothing. So yeah, that's number 5. Number 6. It's gotta be The Walking Dead by Telltale Games. Even all the way up to its most recent one. I gotta say, can't wait for the last 2 episodes to come out, if they ever do, because like I said, Telltale's no longer in business. Unfortunately. But yeah, no, number 6. Let's go to number 6. The Last of Us. Okay? Last of Us is just one of those games that I'll never get tired of. I mean, I would play that game so much. Just the story alone. Fantastic. Jesus, there's a lot of dudes in here. 7? Yeah. Still hear a lot of dudes. Yeah, let me just kill these guys and think of which game. Oh, yeah, duh. What am I thinking? The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. This definitely has had to have made its way into the list. Number 8. Hello. Goodbye. What the fuck? Riverside Manor front entrance. No. Nope. I want to say Fallout 3. Oh my god, there's so many dudes. Where the fuck are they all? Hello. There's a lot of scorched in here. Yeah, Fallout 3 is definitely going to be on the list. There. Calibrated hunting rifle. Level 50. No. Where's that fucking... Over here. Number 9 on the list. Yeah, number 9. I don't know. It's probably gonna have to be Minecraft story mode. For right this second. There's... No. Search the front parlor while wearing a veil. What? What the hell are you talking about? I'm sure this list will change. As new games come out and things like that, but as of right now, okay, I think I know what number 10 spot is. You remember the old, the old Spider-Man games? I'm talking PlayStation 1 times. I'm sorry, Minecraft Story Mode isn't number 9. Minecraft Story Mode's not on the list. Now number 9 is also an old Nintendo 64 game. Okay? And then number 10 is PlayStation 1 game. We'll do the PlayStation 1 game first. The first Spider-Man. The introduction to the series. That one. Let me tell you. Where if you jumped off the building, you would die. No, it wasn't really open world. It was just all about on rooftops. That's about it. I miss that game. And then in Spider-Man 2 and 3, I think 3 was... No, yeah, Spider-Man 2 you could free roam around the city. Spider-Man 3 was more into it, though. I didn't play any of the other older ones, like Web of Shadows, or any of the freaking other ones. But the new one I played, fantastic story, by the way. The ending was a twist. Oh, Stan Lee passed away. That was heartbreaking. What a legend. But yeah, no, he was in the new Spider-Man game as well. Did a lot of cameos. But yeah, no, the ending where Aunt May died. You know, that was terrible. Another game that made me cry. But yeah, that's, you know, the first Spider-Man, man. That game was amazing at the time. And now for the last game on the list. 007 GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64. My God. Countless hours between me and my brother tag teaming it on missions and just having a really fun time. That game brings back so many memories. It was so fun. And then they remade it, and you know, that was fun too, with the updated graphics and all that stuff. But oh my God, that game was just really great. Oh, get out of here. That's the inside of that too again. How am I doing for water-wise? Let's take purified water for right this second. Get rid of all my spoiled meat. I still need to level up too, huh? I sure do. Okay. Let's do this. I want intelligence again. Strength. Ooh, that one's pretty cool. Don't really have perception all that much. Yeah, I only have 2. You're non-automatic. No. Oh, endurance. Yeah, those older classic games, still to this day, probably narrowed down to my top 5, without a question. Now, if we narrow it down to my top 3, and number 1 being the best, we'll start at 3. Okay? Oh, this is tough. We'll do The Last of Us. Just because the game is so emotional on so many levels. Jesus Christ. Fucking mole rat. I gotta pick a thing again. Oh, charisma. Stint packs for today will work much more quickly. Buying and selling prices of vendors are better. It's kind of all about teammates. Blood packs now satisfy thirst. No. Intelligence. Crafting workshop. No. So yeah, we'll go with The Last of Us. The Walking Dead by Telltale. Or no. No. I'm sorry. Ah, this is tough. I can't do a top 3. There's no way. I don't think I have a favorite game of all time. It's my number 1 favorite game of all time. It's probably going to have to be a tie between Minecraft and one of the old classics, 007 GoldenEye. That's a tie. So those are 1 and 2. Right there. And my third one, it's probably The Walking Dead by Telltale. Okay. Because they've had, how many? They have the season 1, and then Lee died in season 2. You know, you still didn't play as Clementine. Or actually, yeah, never mind. No, yeah, you did. Then there was the 500 Days one, which kind of made no sense because none of those characters carried over, or you didn't meet them at all, so that kind of didn't make sense. And And then there was season 3 with Javier, which Clementine was much older. And then toward the end, she went off on her own. And then in the new one, you finally play as her in the final season. Which all that shit went down with Telltale, and they're not in business anymore, so everybody's still waiting on the last 2 episodes. They're supposed to come out like November 5th or whatever, or some shit like that. So pistols weigh 25% less. What luck. Benefits of bobbleheads and magazines? No. Carry junk to gain up to 10 damage and energy resistance. Simpacks may generate edible limitation. Any kill in VATS has a 5% chance to refill your critical meter. I'm gonna do the fuck, this is hard. Pistols don't have 10% range. Reload 10% faster. Yeah, let's do this one. About that, it's games just where oh shit, games just mean so much to me. You know, there's somebody asked me once, when I would sleep most of the day and game all night, why do you play games so much? Well, because that's what I grew up doing. My mom and dad were fighting a lot as, when I was little. Games were my escape. And we were moving all the time. Honestly heartbroken. Moving away from my family. Games were my escape then. My brother would play games just to get away. Ratchet and Clank being one of those games. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And a couple others, I'm sure. But, yeah, we would just... Games just mean so much to me. Those perch. Okay, so enough ranting. I think I've done a lot of talking. I'm gonna shut up a little bit and... Let's see. This place right here. The White Spring Resorts. Now, let's see. How much junk do I have? I don't really have that much junk. All this stuff I can just get again. But... I'm pretty much banned from this place. I accidentally shot one of the robots that were friendly because my controller hit the bed and the right trigger was like right in front of his face. Or, I'm sorry, R2. What? I mean, yeah, R2 was right in front of his face, and I shot him. And then me not being so bright, he was shooting at me, so I finished him off. Probably not the best decision. But here we go. We're gonna try to see if they forgot. I doubt it, but there's also Red Dead Redemption Online too. That I haven't played too much of because I've heard if I move nasty. Did they forget about me? Hope so.
Welcome, please.
Yes, they did. I'm finally able to come back here again. Awesome. Okay. Now let's dash their heads in. That's awesome. Maybe it was just server reliant. Maybe the world that I was in, the server I was in,
Are always welcome. Welcome to the White Spring.
Okay, that's weird.
Hello.
You know, maybe it was server related.
The White Spring.
The server I was in just didn't like me. Or over time they just forget about it. That would be something.
Sir? Pardon me?
The gardener.
The formal gardens have always been the pride of the White Spring.
Huh? It's closed. Yeah, this is a friendly zone. Take my weapon away. I wish I could play this game with someone. One of my old buddies. If you've watched my YouTube channel. Like 3-4 years ago, we would play Minecraft on the computer. And do a little multiplayer series. That was weird. His name was Dexby. And jeez, man. And life just happened. I wish we would still play games all the time like we used to. I I wish we could play this game together, you know. We'd still be making videos for my channel and doing streams. I miss that, man.
Did you need something, monsieur?
The White Spring is under our protection.
Employees only. Right. Yeah, no, I feel like I should get an Xbox as well. But it's kind of one of those things where I have to pick and choose my battles. Well, not really. Because I don't need to use online features for PS4. I don't play with anyone. But Xbox, I still have a lot of friends on Microsoft account that still ask me to come back and play, but you know. But yeah, no, I probably won't even do that.
Please seat yourself. A waiter will be with you
Oh,
shortly.
really? Let's take a seat. Let's sit down then, somewhere. No
Here
way.
is today's menu.
No way. I didn't think that would actually work. Preserved Instamash. What's gonna give me the mo? Ooh, that's quite a bit of caps for a steak. Caps are hard to come by. Jesus, 90 HP? No. No, thank you. Yeah, but yeah, I'm really torn. 'Cause during tax time,
Today's security
gonna
status
be getting a
is
gaming
red.
computer,
Please
and
take
then I'll be able to do
appropriate
anything I want.
precautions.
Get any game I want. So, but I'll pass out for the night now. The more tired I get, faster. So, but anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And about how it's not the game that changes you. You know, as far as violence goes. It's how your parents raise you. And what they teach you about games. So, thanks guys for watching. I'll see you on my next stream or on my next video.